This is great stuff, man. Kamo's joining us, field coordinator with the Minnesota Twins, knows makeup better than anyone. Kamo, how you doing?
How's it going, man? I'm doing all right.
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. The,
Good.
the timing couldn't be much better because I was just talking to the audience here about makeup, and I learned the term makeup from Kamo and LJ. You guys are the ones that, when I think of makeup, when I use that term, you guys come to mind. So, um, I gave a definition of makeup, and right now we're talking about ways to improve your makeup. So, could you talk to the audience about ways to improve your makeup?
Well, I think the makeup a lot of times comes from, not just how you handle a situation, but also how you respond to a situation. So, I don't, it's probably a little bit difficult to straight up define it, but I can tell you that the way you respond to adversity, the way you handle situations, I think that a lot of times defines your makeup.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's you want to see how people handle failure. I think we can all handle success well, but sometimes how you handle failure and how you persevere through that is a lot of times determines your makeup, and that could be evolving. It's may not be something that you handle right the first time, but it's something that you can continue to learn from as you keep progressing
Yes, yes,
and as you gain experiences.
definitely, definitely. Now, just to let you know, the way I defined makeup was your sport or your knowledge of the game slash sports IQ and your
Hmm.
emotional IQ and your overall awareness. And I gave examples of that. So, and before you came on, I was talking about spring training. We talked about this in the past, how players
Hmm.
would release themselves, and makeup could be an example. Would be the catalyst for that. Could you expand on that? How guys will release themselves during spring training because of their makeup?
Well, I think it's based on what I just mentioned is, how you handle situations. Sometimes as a player, you don't get the first opportunity, and how you handle that will say a lot about your character, your makeup. Um, and sometimes you just have to persevere through it so that when you do have the opportunity, hopefully you can make it the last opportunity because you take advantage of it. Um, but also look at sometimes if your ability, everybody has different levels of ability. Um, and sometimes guys are blessed with God-given ability and you have maybe more than the next person, but if you a lot can you can accomplish a lot if you don't have like the God-given ability, but you do have, if you're playing professionally, for example, you have some skills, you have some tools that you've been blessed with. Um, but what you do with those and how you go about your business, I think, says a lot. And if there is two players that are on the same level are in competing, uh, the way you present yourself, the way you handle the adversity, the way you persevere, that may give you an edge over the next person. So when we start talking about makeup, when you're creating a team, you want people on that team that's a team player. You want somebody that can fit, can gel, can build the camaraderie within that team, and create the chemistry within that team. So if you're not that guy, then sometimes you become the odd man out.
Yeah, 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 100%. Yes, definitely. Before we continue, I'm gonna mention some guys that showed up. I don't know if you see it came over, but Donovan Mitchell's here with us. He said he's going to head
All
to his
right.
anniversary. But D. Mitch, good to see you. And one of our another
Happy anniversary, man.
happy anniversary, yes. And another one of the coaches, Coach Mr. Quitter Komet, he's going to come out and talk about his definition of makeup as well. Coach Butch Wesley's in the building. Appreciate you showing up. So, okay, so we know what it is. Could you talk about And you pretty much answered it. You pretty much answered. But my next question was, how do you improve your makeup?
Yeah, I think it's just learning,
Yeah.
through experiences. It's not saying that every decision that you make, every reaction you have uh, to circumstances will always be the right one, but I think it's gaining the experience and learning from it as you go through it. Because I think we've all been in those situations where we didn't like the decision that was made, we didn't like the circumstances we were in, and maybe didn't handle it the right way.
Mm.
But I think it's gaining through the experiences that you learn how to cope, you learn how to overcome. You learn how to talk through it.
Yeah.
It's sometimes if you have to go into the office and have a discussion, you may not like what you hear, but you have an opportunity to respectfully voice your opinion, and then you have to live with it and work through it, and then again try to persevere. So that maybe that's how you improve it. Sometimes it's through experience.
Definitely, definitely. I introduced you, but would you mind talking to, introducing yourself, telling the people what you do and who you're with and any other information?
Yeah, well, I'm with the Minnesota Twins, the Major League Field Coordinator. Um, I've previously, this is my second year with the organization, and previously was with the Mets where you and I worked together. I was there for 25 years, in several different roles. Um, Played in the organization as well. I was originally drafted by the Tigers before being traded to the Mets. Played in college, and from Louisiana. So yeah, so that's just been my track, and just always continuing to learn, as we go through and we're talking about experiences, but always trying to learn and trying to find ways to improve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you. It was a surprise. I figured, you might be on the road somewhere. Who knows? So,
Yeah, yeah, currently on the road, but had some free time, so was
all
able
right.
to get
Well, we highly appreciate it, Kamo, and definitely, maybe we can have that interview like we did before. Maybe, when things slow down for you, maybe around the All-Star break or something. I don't know.
on. Sounds good, man.
All right, but I appreciate seeing you once
Looking
again.
forward to it. All right, man. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me.
no problem.
Thanks
Have a good evening.
Okay. You too. All right.
All right. Always learning. That was a pleasant surprise, family. Kevin Morgan, Major League Field Coordinator for the Minnesota Twins. All right, so Freddie, you ready to come on out? It's gonna go. We're gonna get Freddie next. Then we're gonna get Coach Wesley, and then we'll go with Coach Keith. As long as everybody's still here. So Freddie, come on in. Let me see if I can add you right now. Okay. All right.
Hey, coach.
I'm gonna answer a question real quick. Sean Pittman, another baseball guy. Sean Pittman, if you're gonna be around, if we got time, man, you can come on in. Atticus, to answer questions, yes, they're gonna be over on Facebook. Excuse me, not Facebook. They're gonna be over on YouTube. YouTube, yeah. So Freddie, long time no see.
Yes, coach. How are you doing?
Good, man. You're all over the world.
Last time I was in Mexico, and right now I'm in Portugal.
Man, you get around. Well,
Yes,
you heard
I'm
it.
doing something
Okay.
here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, introduce it. I'm sorry. Introduce the people. Tell them what you do, and then we'll go from there.
Well, hi people. My name is Freddy Sayala. I'm physical therapist, high performance specialist, athletic training. I'm right now in Portugal. We we developed a new team, Lowly Ravens. I'm right now as an international advisor here. So my man here, my coach, several months now with the friendship,
Yeah.
exchanging knowledge.
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
that's my friend. That is Darwin Marrero, my friend,
Yes,
and
sir.
Jesner Varela. They are
Oh, okay,
from.
okay.
They're Darwin is coach in San Luis Cardinals, and Jesner is New York Yankees athletic trainer. Those are my
Okay.
brothers.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Well, everybody knows who you are. Now let's tackle this makeup thing. I think you heard my definition, right? Like Kamo
Yes,
said,
yes.
you can't. It's difficult to define specifically. I just threw categories out there. What's your take
No,
on makeup?
I was hearing you. The name that most people can recognize that is the ritual that the players make before the game, before a big competition, and how they turn up to get to that point. Some say I'm good, I'm hype, I'm doing my everything to stay in my timing. So we can see. And did you? We talked about that in our last live. You remember?
Yep.
You say, yeah, I now remember you remember the movie Any Given Sunday.
Yes,
So
definitely.
they focus on some players like the QB that is sleeping, the other is mental focus, focusing mentally, seeing the mirror, other are swinging, other are throwing the ball. So everybody has a preparation. From my perspective, say how I wrote earlier, and say is preparing the neuromotor responses, but lowering the hormones to be cool, or like the other coach said, if it's stress, if you're coming from a bad slump or something, the stress level is up. So you need to stay or get in your zone or lower to your zone, because I think that it affects in everything, in physically, mentally, and well, sportively speaking.
Yeah, yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. You coming from the perspective of the awareness, the awareness.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. Being able to maintain that homeostasis throughout, like I said earlier, 4 for 4, not so 4 for 4. Okay, good. 0 for 4 the next day, bad. But we're staying in that zone, right? That's correct.
yes,
Okay, perfect, perfect.
yes. Yeah.
Can you
Well, you know that. No, excuse me. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to ask you what's next. So you pretty much defined it for yourself, um, and you gave that's examples, right? You gave examples. So talk about why makeup is important.
In what? Sorry.
Why is makeup important?
Why this important? Because the athlete gets his rhythm.
Hmm.
Because the athlete can get to the point of the objective. If you know that some players, uh, the sports in on the moment is their moment, so they leave their life behind and focus only in the moment, or the moment to play is the there's a word, it's a happy place. It's the happy place. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's very important, because you could, as an athlete, you could have a a better performance in that game, because it gets you mentally focused on what you will do and what you need to do. You have a clear view of what you have to do and what you need. And if you are out of your mind, if you have a very stressful moment, if you have a very stressful situation the previous days or future days, it gets you to get an harmony in your thoughts, so you can do the better you can.
yeah.
Uh, did I explain
Yeah, yeah,
myself?
yeah, yeah. I think everybody's on the same page. Um, I think the term we could use is the zone, or you might have used that earlier. Just being in your zone. The zone that's
Yes,
best for you, right? Yeah. So that's a good way to put it.
yes. And you see when a player is not in the zone and is doing something that he doesn't do, or I've seen some athletes that do type of athletes. One is seeing the other, how the other is preparing, but we don't. But that don't is useful for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Another example, I like to see movies, and that is what explained. Did you see Cool Running?
Cool
Yeah,
Running?
Cool Running, 92 movie.
Yeah.
With the bobsled team,
Right.
that the captain, they prepare as the Swiss, after the Swiss team, but they have a rhythm with that. But as a Jamaican team, they got their own rhythm and do it better. That's why a makeup is important, because you have to discover what is best for you. That's why I use the word ritual, because it's something you do for you.
Exactly.
So that's something you learn that is doing for you, that is helping you to get in your zone.
Exactly.
Okay, if you're out of your zone, you won't perform in the best. You won't have your 100%. So it's going to focus all on your zone.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. I want to get Coach Wesley in here. If you're gonna hang around, I think us coaches need to come up with a solution for these guys at the end. Maybe a general routine or something they can do. That we can give to them quickly or something, or talk about on the next show. But I appreciate you, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank
Right,
you, Coach. Thank you for the
Have a good one.
Bye, people.
No problem.
See you
Be
later.
safe. All right.
Thanks.
No problem. Thank you. All right, Coach Wesley.
How I
Wesley.
turn this?
You got it. Coach Wesley, get in the building. Coach.
Hey, Coach, what's going on?
Not much, man. You at the facility? It's kind of. I thought you were at the facility in the background. Look, are you at the facility? It's buffering pretty bad. Facebook, what's going on? Who we have? Jeffrey Hester. Good to see you guys. Nathan, good to see you. Now, I think I explained this earlier. I'm talking on Instagram. To different players. Our topic is makeup, player makeup, right? So I have people here on Instagram. I'm interviewing people. So you can head over to Instagram. You can just look at my ugly mug right here and listen, or you can head over to Instagram and actually see who I'm talking to. So it looks like hopefully we temporarily lost Coach. I'm gonna try him again. Jonathan's in the building. We're gonna try Coach again. Okay, he's not here right now. So what we'll do is we'll come back to Coach. Let me see if Coach Keith is here. Still, hopefully he's still here. Okay, Coach is back. Let's try it again. Hopefully we're doing a little better this time. Yeah, so far
Yeah,
so
I'm
good.
here, Coach.
Okay, good. So we're trying to cure cancer here. We're trying to improve some makeup tonight, right? Trying to improve guys' makeup. So why don't we do this? Why don't you introduce yourself, tell the people everything you want to know, and then if you could define makeup, give your definition of makeup, why it's important, give good examples of good makeup versus bad makeup or not so good makeup.
I think all of it is character based, and it's really based on, where you are with your principles and your morals. And one of the things that I think is very, very important is being able to overcome the three types of adversity. You have mental adversity, you have physical adversity, and you have emotional adversity. And I think makeup is really all about how you deal with emotional adversity. And a lot of times I think we put things in the category of physical adversity and mental adversity when it's really, really emotional. And I think makeup is all about how an athlete responds to emotional adversity over and over again. And I don't really
No
think it's
question.
any deeper than that.
Yeah, no question, no question. You know, I think everybody's on the same page so far. I don't know if you were there when I gave my definition. I just said it's your sports IQ, meaning your knowledge of your
Right.
sport, your emotional IQ, you know, and then your overall awareness, your body, your mind, that connection right there. That was my
Yeah.
definition, but I
And
think we're all on
I
the
think
same
that kind
page.
of goes back.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to, what we were talking about, well, what I mentioned before in terms of, you got to refer to your roots and character and being able to do the
Hmm.
right thing and being able to do the same thing the same way every day. It'll go a long way. And, even when I teach clients about approaching the bar, I give the example of it's just like brushing your teeth in the morning. Some of us turn on the water first, some of us have a different routine, but you have a routine with everything that you do when you're trying to heighten the intensity to be able to repetitively, okay, come up with
Hmm.
maximum power and maximum effort.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I'm glad you mentioned routine because that's what it's all about. And something I mentioned this earlier. Something I do with my guys. I try to get them in, like Freddie said, the zone prior to the game. Or other guys might be hanging out in the dugout. I don't know, just joking around, eating gum or whatever. I like to get the guys out on the ground. They all have the prehab routine I give them. So get your prehab routine going. So getting that synchronization between your body and your mind, because if you're preparing
Right,
your body at the same time you're preparing your mind for the game that's about to take place, you know, and
right,
it's to me it's very important to be able to have that program or have that routine, because this is something that's I think is very important for you athletes out there. You have a program as a high school athlete, but you also have a different program as a college athlete. But you don't want to
right.
abandon, just throw things. You don't want to throw things away and throw things back in. Part of your awareness is knowing regardless of what works for you. You know what I mean? So going back to you, Coach. Do you have? I know you gave examples, but could you give I don't know maybe another example of working with your clients and good makeup. Clients, that might have good makeup or scenarios. Could you talk to them specifically about that?
I mean, specifically, we can give a specific different examples and scenarios of how people deal with emotions. Like, I want to know what you can do when you don't feel good. I want to know,
Hmm.
like, what can you do when you don't physically feel good? What can you do when you don't emotionally feel good? I have a routine, and like 15 minutes before I even go into a session, like, I really want peace. Sometimes clients walk
Hmm.
in and they want to talk and it's not the time because I'm into my routine, because I know that I have to be at my best to bring the best out of you. So, with that being said, I just think it's very, very important that, sometimes I think we get too caught up in fundamentals and we don't attack the mental and the emotional intensity that it takes to do what we want to do, play after play, day after day, through tough situation after tough situation. Especially, like dealing with things that are not fair that we can't control. How do you respond to that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. No question. No question. Yeah. It's so much. So much of it is emotional. You
Right,
know, a lot of it
right,
is, and
right.
every coach that's been here so far has said that. Kmo, I think he's still listening. Kevin Morgan. First time we had an interview, he would mention how at the showcases, scouts would be there watching the guys, during batting practice, infield. But when it's in between, when the game's about to start, say they finish the warm up, now they're going to uh, pregame activities. Coaches would go behind the pillars up in the stands and watch those guys when they're not being watched, when they think they're not being watched. You know, so how are you acting when you think you're not being watched? When you think you're just with your guys, you know? And I think you're buffering right now, and coach is buffering right now. Hopefully we don't lose him. Let's see. Let's see. I think we might have to come back to him. Let's see if he's here. Okay, he's not here right now. So I'm gonna go to G, and we're gonna try to get Coach back. We'll try to get Coach Wesley back. On Facebook land, we have Jackie Watkins. Good to see you, Jackie. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, Coach is back. So G, you're on deck. G, we're gonna finish up with Coach Wesley. If I can get him. It's not letting me call him right now. Coach, okay, there he is. He has a request. So he's coming back. Oh, he's back. Good, good, good. So I was just saying, how Coach Kamo said guys would. You there? Because it looks like you're buffering.
Again.
Okay, you're back. Good, good. Yeah,
Okay.
good, good.
Man, I
I'm just giving an
apologize.
example
I
of
don't know what's going on.
Man, no problem. Happens all the time. It's just part of it,
Right.
Now, I was just talking about how, like Kevin said, at the showcases, guys, scouts will go behind the pillars and watch the players when they're not being watched, when they think they're not being watched, to see the true
Right.
player. You know what I mean? So, and that just goes back to what we're talking about. They're evaluating makeup. Is there anything in general, anything else you want to touch on regarding makeup? Any pointers for these kids that are just finding out about makeup, number one, and developing their makeup? Any pointers for how to develop your makeup? Let's leave it with that.
I think regardless of what we do, whether we're playing a sport or, we're working a job or whatever the case may be, we're all going to be responsible for what we give off in terms of our energy into the universe, And like, if you're playing a sport and you have dreams to play the sport at a very, very high level, how could you not go in there and give your best effort every day and expect to be successful at the same time?
Yeah. Yep.
So with that being said, like even from a strength trainer perspective, when I'm trying to get a maximum output out of a kid on a deadlift or a squat or whatever, we might go take a medicine ball and throw it into the wall as hard as we can. Because what we're trying to do is get his central nervous system ready to explode and explode and explode again. Now, with that being said, I think one of the things that we have to understand is that everybody has a different way of expressing intensity. Some people are a rah-rah guy. Some people are quiet assassins or whatever the case may be. But you have to find a way to express maximum effort, maximum energy, and do it in a way that aligns with your morals and your character at all times.
Yeah, man, that's a great way to close it out, man. Beautiful way to close it out. I appreciate your time, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and get one of our young clients on here. But if you stick around,
Okay.
I'll bring you back out. We can chop it up a little more.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Coach.
No problem. You have a good one. Thank you for coming out. All right, my man G. So Eduardo, if you want to talk too, because G is one of our younger clients, local guy. But if you're still available, Eduardo, you want to bring out Zoe, you guys, maybe us three can talk about makeup. So I'm gonna give me a thumbs up if you're okay with that, Eduardo. Now I'm gonna invite my man G. Just send the latest version. So we'll need. So Shelly, it says you will need the latest version of Instagram to join, Shelly. So that's the message I'm getting. Says your name. We'll need the latest version of Instagram to join the live. So I guess you have to download the latest version to join us. So if you can do that, or maybe I don't know. I think you said you're the only phone with it, but try to download the latest version and let us know when you're ready, and we'll go back to you. Now, Eduardo, let me see. Eduardo, if you're still here, do you want to come on out? And you, myself, and Zoe, we can talk about makeup. Okay, good. We'll go grab Eduardo. And G, Shelly, we're still here. Just let us know when everything's cleared up, and we'll bring you out. All right, so get Eduardo. Good to go. All right. Zoe, what's going on?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Oh, good. Just at the house, just playing. Just about to go to bed in a little while.
Okay. So, have you been listening to the whole show? Have you?
We've caught the most of it.
Okay,
What's going
cool.
on?
How you doing, Eduardo? So we're talking makeup. I don't know. We talked about this. I might not have used the term makeup. I think we talked about it plenty indirectly, dealing with the mental program and dealing with the mental program, right? So
Right.
basically, you heard everybody's definition has been similar, right? You know, how do you handle yourself in certain situations? That's what it boils down to, you know. And also, for me, the knowledge of your sport, you know. So what do you guys, Shelly is upgrading for G. Okay, thank you, appreciate it. So I want you guys to talk about makeup. I think you guys, between us three, we like I said, we have an idea what makeup is. Can you talk about, okay, G, Shelly, let me go ahead and finish talking with Zoe, and then we'll bring on G, all right? Can you guys, you guys talk about makeup. And you know some guys in the league, would you mind talking about guys that you know of or played in the past that exemplify good makeup?
Like Barry Bonds, Griffey.
Yeah, Griffey. I think that's an example that everyone will agree on. Ken Griffey Jr., a great example of good makeup. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as you know, well, man, we've learned so much this past year, and working with you, and you know, his first season in travel ball. You know, we've run against, you know, like we've talked a lot. We've run up against a lot of the mental side. You know, we've been training. Alonso's been training for this for years now.
Mm-hmm.
But since we started working together now for the past year, man, he's definitely come a long way, and the makeup part of it has definitely had a huge role in that. You got to understand, you know, this is a little guy who he's playing up. First of all, he actually hadn't played since 2017, so it's been 4 years. He's playing, you know, he's 11 years old. He's the youngest on his team, playing with 12-year-olds against, you know, some of the best competition in Florida, and he's able to hang. But not only hang, but really, you know, begin to really hold down his own. A lot of that is because of how he carries himself. You know, basically the makeup. You know, a lot of that's the work ethic, which has been preparing him for a long time. But also a lot of the mental side, because he's hit a lot of roadblocks, a lot of stumbling blocks that you know, that were just kind of thrown at him in a relatively short span of time. But also to be able to, you know, overcome those challenges too. You know, remember a few weeks ago we spoke when he was, you know, kind of had a little bit of a slump.
Yeah.
You know, small things in the mechanics, because, you know, he's got a lot of things going on, and, you know, he's basically like two players because he switch hits. So it's not just one batting stance or, one batting stance, one swing that we got to take care of and maintain, but it's two of them. And so with that, we spoke about the mental part instead of thinking, oh, what if I strike out? What if, those type of having those kind of self-defeating thoughts. He still kept grinding away, worked hard, and wanted to dig into, where the holes were. So we did take some live, in-game video, saw the things that he were doing, that he was doing good. We went and looked at some of the things that he did in the past that were successful. Started shaping his thought process.
Yep.
And he's come back to swing an extremely hot bat. This is a kid who has more extra base hits than he has singles. We go out and play in 300-foot fields, and he's driving them to the fence. He hasn't lucked, when we play in a 200-foot field, he still hadn't lucked out and got one out. But every time we step on the big field, he comes through. In the past 2 weeks, he's gotten 2 singles, 4 doubles, and 1 triple. So he's been, and only struck out once. And so he's been playing really good. Still, it's funny because the other day he had, there was a play that, some of his teammates called him out in right field. It wasn't an error. It was just it was a play that if he would have dove or if he would have just, got to it a little bit quicker, maybe he could make it. Maybe he doesn't. But it was a tough loss for the team, and he kind of just took it at himself and just felt like he could have he should have done a little bit more. So what he ends up doing, especially after his teammates kind of call him out, he held himself accountable and says, on the way home, Dad, I want to get faster. Can we start doing the running drills in the morning? I'll wake up early, at 7 a.m. before school and get out there and do them. And sure enough, every morning before school, he's up, ready to go. We're doing the band drills that the YouTube videos you set for him. So we're going through those, doing some sprints, and it's wild too because at practice, coaches got the kids doing kind of like campus runs. Throughout at the park, and out of 12 kids, he's consistently either number 2 or 3. Now, mind you, he's the biggest kid. He's not a small, skinny kid. He's not. Your 4'10", 75-pound kid. This kid's, 150, almost 155 pounds, the biggest kid in the group, but he's out, he's out working and out doing, even the little guys. And so when I see something like that, you can say, wow, this kid's makeup is it's starting to take shape. At a young age. And again, he's still extremely green, very inexperienced in the grand scheme of baseball. Cause, you look at a lot of other kids that have a couple hundred games under their belt, he's only got about 30 games under his belt, period. But a lot of that makeup is what's helping him become successful. And it's doing, he's just developing at where we want him to be. He's definitely on pace, and it's just going to be a matter of time before he really just kind of blows up. But I'm very pleased with everything. I know he likes the results, and not everything is results driven, but we can look at all the work that he's done, the improvement that he's done. We sit there and I'm a big analytics guy, me. And I crunch the numbers. I look at the data, his hard hits and where he hits the ball and I look at his spray charts and all that good stuff. And he's developing. I mean, in a very good direction. Very good direction.
That's awesome.
So it's cool because like you had mentioned earlier, I do know a few big league guys, guys that I grew up with, guys a couple guys that I talked to, here and there. And guys like Manny Ramirez, James Loney, those are guys that I know, really well. I went to school with Matt Carpenter too. So I got to see it, from a young age. But it's cool because some of the things that they did when they were in high school, Alonso's doing it in elementary.
Mm.
He's going to be crossing over into middle school next year, and he's already kind of picking up on some of those things that those kids did while they were in high school. And remember, when they were in high school, these guys were the best in the country.
Yeah.
So, I'm really seeing where makeup, because the game is tough. It's a game of failure. It's a game where, I tell him all the time, look, you'll take 150, 200 swings before a game, and you might only get 2 at bats.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of work for just, and every at bat, maybe you're lucky if you're up there for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. True.
it's he takes it very positively, and he's learning a lot, but he's like a sponge. And
Awesome.
it's gonna really prepare him for the future. That's what I feel. That's what I see already.
Well, I appreciate that information because I think you just might have, as far as ways to strengthen your makeup, I think you might have just solved it right there. Change your thoughts early, learn the right habits early, because that's what's happening with Zoe right now. Like we talked about that conversation. You go up you mentioned it. You go up in the box. What if I strike out? What if I strike out? Well, what if you hit a double in the gap? What if you get this bunt down to get your guy over? What if you do that successfully? And you just build with those thoughts. Next thing you know, you go from that fear state of mind, what if, to that positivity and confident state of mind, that positive what if. You leave the negative what if behind and welcome the positive what if. So what we're doing, we're basing it down to thoughts. Your thoughts are everything. Thoughts are things. A very wise person I know said this. I'll never forget it. He always said, "Are you thinking your thoughts, or your thoughts thinking you?" So when you're in a situation, you're thinking that negativity. To me, that's your thoughts thinking you, right? Because that's not our nature. That's not a person's nature to be just negative for no reason, just innately negative. I think that's societal. Society. We're not going to get into that today, but my point is, it's not natural to just be negative for no reason. And I think when we learn, going back to the awareness, when we learn our mind and how to use our thoughts in the right way, that is when things, that's when we start to develop our makeup and start controlling our makeup, but the key is starting at the early age, understanding who you are. The earlier, the better. The earlier, the better. I always use, with Joe and some of my older clients, I always use the Neo in the Matrix as an example. Once Neo tapped into who he really was, next thing you know, he's stopping bullets with his hands. He's beating 5 guys at once, and he just went off. I'm not saying that's going to happen, obviously. What I'm saying is he tapped into who he really is, and once he tapped into who he really is, different person. So he tapped in. He was probably, I guess, in his 20s, whatever. What if you, as an athlete, I'm talking to all of you guys, what if you, as an athlete, what if you're doing what Zoe's doing right now, tapping into your Neo at 11, 12 years old, right? Developing your makeup at 11, 12 years old, developing the right habits to prepare for a game mentally and physically, getting in your zone, as Freddie said, understanding your emotions, as Kamo and Coach Wesley said. What if we can do that from day one, or at a very early age? Huge game changer. Huge game changer. Kevin Morgan, Major League Field Coordinator, talked to you guys about the importance of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to you guys about it. So athletes, it's not something you want to take for granted. Start developing your makeup now. Start developing your makeup now. Start to understand yourself, your thoughts. Zoe is a perfect example that you can do this right now. All right? So is there anything else you want to say, Zoe? Anything else we want to say, Eduardo?
Oh, no, not really anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, good to go. Like I said, I mean, we're here at the end of the season, and he's finishing strong, and yeah, like I said, just excited to see how he's gonna finish up, and we know, like I said, I know this is just the beginning.
No doubt.
It's just the beginning, and it's exciting to see it at such a young age. Wish I would have known this when I was that,
Yeah. Hey.
young
Yeah.
age.
No doubt. No doubt. Great information, guys. I appreciate your time, and hopefully we can make that trip happen in June.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we can make it up there.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys have a good night, and we will
All right, my
talk
man.
soon. All right. Appreciate
All right,
y'all.
you too, bro. Take
Bye,
it easy,
All right.
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Take it easy,
All right.
bro. All right. All right, G. Let me pull my man G out. Where'd he go? I don't see you. Okay, there he is. Okay, cool. All right. My man, what? You disappeared on us. Oh, there he is. Okay. All right, G. Here we go. Thanks again, guys. My man G. So G is a young hockey stud, another young athlete with great makeup. And we're going to discuss makeup right now. Okay, it says view request, go live. Okay, waiting. Okay. Facebook, what's good? Who we have over here? Lynn, what's going on? Good to see you. It's been a minute. So what's happening here? We're talking player makeup. I'm talking player makeup over here on Instagram. The problem is over on Facebook, you can't see I'm talking to you. Just listen to me run my mouth, right? But that's what we're talking. So Shelly, I'm having a problem. Why don't you cancel that request and let me see if I can add you? Because I'm hitting. It says you are unable to join. So I'm gonna try to add you myself, and we'll see what happens.
That's connecting.
Okay, cool,
There we
cool,
go.
cool. I'm gonna talk to Facebook really quick. Let me talk to Facebook really quick. So that's what's going on. We're talking player makeup, right? Like I said, if you want to interact with us, head over to Facebook. Head over to Instagram. We can talk makeup. We're solving what it takes to have good makeup for an athlete. Makeup is the way I define it is your sport IQ, the knowledge of your sport, your emotional IQ, and your overall awareness. And we have coaches on Instagram giving their definition. Now we have young athletes talking about, makeup. So you can hang out, listen to me run my mouth over here on Facebook, or you can join us over on Instagram. Either way, glad to have you here. All right. So my man G. So we got a ton of people I got to wave to, G. Hold on. People are rolling in. You recognize any of these names, G? Can you see them?
Yeah, I can see him. I don't recognize any.
You don't? Okay, I figured they might be here to see you. I figured they might be here to see you. All right, cool. So, are you comfortable with what we're talking about with this makeup thing?
Yeah, I feel like the mental part of the game, or what mentally makes up someone, is almost as important or more important than their physical game.
Agree. Okay. All right. So, you're a big proponent of the physical aspect of the makeup. You and I, we talk about emotions, right? How,
Yeah.
you could have 3 goals one night and no goals the next. Your team's acting up. How do you handle these emotions that we discussed and you mentioned?
For me personally, I try not to get this works for me myself. I don't try to get too emotionally into the game. I try to focus more mentally. Like normally, this is much different. I don't celebrate normally when I score goals and stuff like that, but that's just what works for me.
Hmm. So you say you don't celebrate. What's the reasoning behind not celebrating?
Sometimes you can get like the more excited you get, say like they score like 2 goals, start to come back, like the more down you get. That's mostly something I've noticed.
Okay, so you're going back to what we were talking about earlier with the peaks and valleys, right? We were talking about and I was mentioning how a guy in baseball can go 0 for 4 and he's worst day of his life. He can go 4 for 4 the next day with 4 home runs. Now he's on top of the world. And same thing in hockey, same situation. So instead of maintaining your homeostasis right in this area right here, we're creating peaks and valleys. So you're saying that not celebrating is a way that you can help manage your emotions and stay not too high, not too low. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I appreciate you giving an example because that's what I'm trying to get from everyone this evening. So what else? So what do you think you can do, which you already have? You gave that as an example of how you deal with emotions. Is there anything else that you think you can improve on to help your makeup?
I guess I could get more in a routine. Like
Mm-hmm.
my favorite hockey player, for example, he has the same exact routine. He gets there like 2.5 hours before the game, stands there in front of the ice for like 30 minutes, just focusing. Does the same thing every single game, and
Mm-hmm.
it works for him. He's pretty consistent.
So that's a typical high level athlete. They all do that. They all do that because you have to have your found. Like Coach Wesley said, you have to have. I think he said this. You have to have that. Well, not directly like this. But you got to have that foundation, that routine, something you can go to. Because as you get older in your career and you young athletes out there, before a game, you're gonna have a couple things, a couple swings, a couple throws that get you in your zone. As Freddie mentioned, it's gonna get you in your zone. But when you come across a slump, you might start watching film over here. You might go and get a little treatment in the training room, whatever. But you're always gonna come back to those 1 or 2, maybe 3 drills that get you right, the zone. So why don't we do this? Why don't we come up with a routine for you right now? How about that?
Sure.
So do you like music?
Yeah. I usually keep my headphones on me before games, stuff like that.
Good. Okay. Well, let's talk about what you do on your own right now. Since you walk us through your routine.
Normally, what I try to do is get music before the game, like before warm-ups, all stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, we actually have a trainer. He knows a lot about, he's actually a chiropractor,
Mm-hmm.
but he knows a lot about the body, stuff like that, stuff that can warm you up.
Mm-hmm.
So right before warm-ups, I get my headphones on, I listen to my warm-up music. It's nothing too intense, but it just gets me focused.
Mm-hmm.
We warm up, go into the locker. Sometimes we mess around, which I don't think is the best. I try to stay quiet most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, 5 minutes before the game, everyone's dead quiet. Everyone starts to focus. Coach comes in, talk, and then you're out on the ice, warm up, and then you play.
So focus. And what are your thoughts throughout the focus time or the quiet time? What are you thinking at that time?
I try to visualize what I do in a game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
say, like a good play, like a good shot. Not exactly a goal or these, like, really, really exciting plays. Just, like, good, efficient plays that's most likely going to happen in a real game.
Facebook, there you have it. I mean, that's what Instagram as well. Young athletes, visualization. He already said it. I was going to bring that up at the end as far as ways to develop your makeup. He covered everything. There's one thing we can touch on that you might want to add in your self-talk. Your self-talk during that focus. I'm a firm believer, as Zoe knows, of affirmation, saying all that is just positive sayings you come up for yourself. You might want to mix in some affirmations, just saying, I am better than this. This is pretty lame, what I'm about to say, but it's just an example. I am an outstanding hockey player.
Yeah.
That's lame, like I said. You want to cater your affirmation more towards make it a little more specific. You know your position. You know what you're supposed to do in that field. Cater it towards that a little more. I'm just gonna say, as a goalie, I'm going to make 100 saves tonight. something a little more specific, you know what I mean, to your position and to yourself. Because that goes back to the awareness thing I was mentioning earlier, you know. And you touched on that indirectly, talking about how you get your mind ready and your body ready, right? You pretty much said that, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I would do, man. Just mix in some affirmations, you know, positive thoughts while you're visualizing. Just whatever, you know, is relevant to you, just mix in some affirmations as well. Because that intensifies your um, visualization. Because I get into the subconscious mind. I don't think we talk about it, but I do with my online clients. And your subconscious mind doesn't know right from wrong, right? It just knows. So when you add something, when you say something positive to your subconscious mind, and you have positive emotion behind it, your subconscious mind's going to gravitate towards that because it's I'm gonna say a higher frequency. All right, say a higher frequency. So your subconscious mind will gravitate towards your visualization and your positive thoughts and positive self-talk. So I'll just mix that in. But you and Zoe are ahead of the game, and you know the value now because I know your parents. You wouldn't be visualizing at your age out of nowhere if your parents didn't talk to you about it. And same with Eduardo and Zoe. I mean, the value starting pre-game like routines like this at your age is you can't put a price on it because going back to the conversation earlier with Kamo, there are guys that would lose their job because of poor makeup. Spring training, you're done just because you have poor makeup. And if you have poor makeup, you've had poor self-awareness and you don't know yourself, right? So I think you're doing an outstanding job, especially at your age. And like I mentioned before, as you progress in your career, keep what works for you, right? So you go to your next level next year, you have your routine, but say your coach, your new coach, I'm not saying you have a new coach, I'm just saying in general, you know, coach add something. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna add that to what I'm doing right now, you know, and just keep adding stuff as you go. Next thing you know, you're an NHL guy. You have your routine that you've taken all the way from youth hockey or travel hockey. You know what I mean? And you combine that with stuff that you're using at the NHL level. So you're constantly developing your makeup routine, and adding what you need and taking away what doesn't work for you in the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense? Okay. You have
Can I
anything else? Yeah, I was going to ask you,
um
anything else?
I guess I'll give one more quick example. Sounds kind of odd. I guess he told the media this, so it can't be that bad. He's been wearing like the same jock strap for 23 years, which is yeah, it's pretty odd. It's part of his routine though, he's not shied away from it. Um,
hmm
his name's Sidney Crosby. Yeah.
Hey, he's going to
Whatever.
the Hall of Fame, right? I mean, it worked, right? Going to the Hall
Yeah.
of Fame. I just had a thought about him going to the Hall of Fame in that jockstrap. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to put that visual in people's heads. You know what I mean? But yeah, hey, it worked, right?
Yeah.
It worked. He's heading to the Hall. Does he have any rings with the Penguins? He has one or two, right?
I think he has like 3.
Three. Okay, yeah. I knew he had at least. I thought he had two. All right. Well, he has three. Okay, cool. All right. Well, anything else, man? So no one here is with you. I figured some people would come in here and check you out.
I think my mom's sister's here. I
Okay.
guess my aunt's here.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Or my wife. Okay. Good. Okay. Cool. Well, I definitely appreciate you stopping by, my man. And hopefully I'll see you this week. We can pick up with the training. Your video will be dropping, I think, mid-May. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so you got anything you want to say before you shut it down?
I mean, thanks for having me on the podcast, and I hope everyone here has a great night.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate your time. We'll catch up this week.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so we have one more coach. Coach Keith, you still want to come on? I know it's kind of late. We're almost here for an hour. I'm having a good time. The people that are here hopefully are having a good time. You want to come on out if you're still here, Coach? If so, give us a thumbs up, and we'll have Coach McGrath come out and let's chop it up, and then we'll call it a night. Freddie, I see you laughing. Was that according to the jock strap, Freddie? That's the last thing I thought he was going to say. That was hilarious. I can't wait to talk to him about that this week. My man G, he used to be an actor, by the way. So, Coach Keith, are you here? For some reason, I don't know if you're still here with. Well, I'll do this. I'll go ahead and invite you. See if you're still here. That'll let us know. Okay, there you go. There you are. I'm gonna bring you in. There he is, Coach.
Coach, here I am. Yes, I apologize. I got two apparatuses going here at once. So I'm on my wife's.
So I'll do this. I'll go ahead and invite you. See if you're still here. That'll let us know. Okay, there you go.
You got me?
I'll bring you in.
All right, Coach.
You good?
I'm good. Okay, I apologize. Like I said, I have you on my wife's IG. I left the iPad at the facility.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing what I'm trying to do. I have yeah, that was funny. that like I said, Freddie, I wasn't expecting that. That was hilarious. Oh man. So Coach Keith is buffering a little bit right now, so we're gonna hang out and top it up. I'm gonna head over to, I think Facebook probably got bored just listening to me run my mouth, or hopefully some of you guys head over to Instagram and got to see some of the people we're talking to. A lot of knowledge here, and we're having a good time. I know Freddie and I always have a good time. Okay, Coach Keith left. Well, I'm sure he's gonna be right back. Let's see. He's not back yet. Nikki, what's going on, dude? Do you want to come out and chop it up? I just saw you were here. Give me a thumbs up. I know it's getting late. We're going on an hour. No, I think we're over an hour, aren't we? We started at, 8 o'clock? Yeah, I'm going an hour and a half. Nikki, if you want to come out and chop it up, talk makeup, give me a thumbs up, and we'll get you going. I'm still waiting to see if Coach Keith can make it with us. I'm sure he'll be back. Everything could happen. Everything could happen on live. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Okay, Nikki. So let's give Keith a chance to come back. Nikki's another online client. My man, last time I saw you, you look kind of jacked. I meant to tell you that. Our last video talk, you look kind of jacked. You had big old arms and everything. So I want to talk to you about that. All right, did I miss anybody? We have 9 participants. Okay, you good to go? Oh, let's try it again. Okay. All right, Coach, bringing you in. All right. We good to go?
It's me at the bottom here.
So we're all set, right?
Hey, Coach, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So how much have you caught so far?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I appreciate you. First time listener, long time lover, respect, man. This is great. So.
Yeah, man, it's a good time. We're definitely going to do this more often, man. I had no idea we'd be on here for an hour and a half.
It's a beautiful thing. It's all good stuff what you're spreading too. It's good, and it's it's tools for people to succeed, and we need more of it out there. So great work.
I appreciate you. So I know you know plenty about makeup. You see it, you deal with it, you have your own definition, I'm sure. And as you see, like Coach Wesley said, it's difficult to come up with a definition. I have categories, I guess, and he mentioned emotion. It's challenging to straight up define it. So do your best or give your take on makeup, what it is, what's good makeup, what's not so good makeup, and how can these young athletes improve on their makeup?
Okay, so everybody, Coach Mo, Coach Wesley, everybody, yourself, if tune into the really important thing. It's not one thing, right? So what I get down to is I call it the I amism. And I want to know what you are. As Ali said, what you're thinking is what you're becoming. So right from the jump, I want to know and I want to hear I am. I don't want to hear I want to be. I am. I am a champion. And if they don't have that, we try to develop it. So one of my guys is a NHL player. He was his rookie year, and he's getting ready for the NHL. And what I gave him on his first day was 2 books to read. And he's just, I'm like, yeah, we're doing it all. We're mind, body, no stone left unturned. And you got to know that's right. It's got to be that way. It's the I amism. So from day one, it's like how many people are in your position to make it to the NHL? Tiny. Well, I'm not looking for you to make the NHL. We want a career for you. So we have to do things that other people aren't doing and not worry about what other people, because when you make yourself better, everything gets better around you. And that's your responsibility to be the best you. And that's the I amism. How do you view yourself? And you'll take, as Coach Wesley, I think, was saying about, adversity is always going to raise its head. And you have to know that you did everything you needed to do, that you never lose. Mandela, you never lose. You either win or you're learning. And that's it. And move forward and keep it going. You have 2 different scenarios with baseball where it is a sport of failure. Eduardo and his dad, son were speaking about that. It's a game of failure. And I happen to train a guy that was a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. We had to be ready that one time, that one night, at one moment, because that's it. There is no other. And so I have, major league players that have to go through this when they have, I was a relief pitcher. You give up a home run, well, it's on to the next game. Like Belichick says, on to Cincinnati. You have to be able to develop that maturity, but that comes back again to the I amism. How do you view yourself? And did you do everything you need to do to be prepared to move you forward? Because as you know, at each level, I played college baseball, played in the Netherlands. You run into guys. I had guys I played with, went to the major leagues. But at every level, the sport's always going to ask you again, do you still love me now? Are you still willing to humble your mind to learn again? And one of the first things I look for in a young athlete is, are they coachable? Because they can have all the talent in the world, but if they don't have a pliable mind, if they're not willing to humble their mind and say, someone has something that can help me, as opposed to being insecure and say, oh, I know it all. And that person is not an athlete for me, or even a client for me. I need the person that has the humble mind, and I work with a lot of CEOs, but they're still there for answers because they never stop growing, never stop asking, what can I do to get better? And those are the people that grow and succeed. Now, the gentleman that I worked with became heavyweight champion 2 times. We beat Evander Holyfield for the heavyweight championship. Now, there's no one tougher than Evander Holyfield. Nobody. No one more professional, not a greater man, just a gentleman. But going into a fight with him, we didn't have the skills to beat him physically, but we had to say to ourselves, I am a champion, and I will do whatever I have to do to make myself ready to know that when I'm going in against the best in the world, I've done my job. And then it's freedom time when you're in the ring, because it's freedom. You've done the work. And when you're on the field, it's freedom time, because as you had mentioned, you go through the preparation. Now, you had mentioned my mentor, which is Mike Boyles, a good friend and my mentor. And Mike talks a lot about the recipe rather than the menu. And that's right, exactly what you're talking about. You go through your recipe because the recipe works. But you start adding little things to them. I'm going to take this item and take that item. It doesn't work. So with all our athletes as well, we have a situation where there's a recipe, there's a system in place. This is how we do things. It's not saying other places don't have a better way. This is our way. And this is what we do to succeed. And I purposely put this year my NHL guy next to a young man who says he wants to be an NHL player. And I got this kid's 14, but he's side by side with my NHL guy. And I want him to see what goes on. So we were doing the recipe, as you said, the prehab. And my guy comes in, and it's just hello. He starts rolling out, starts doing his stuff. Now, the other young man, a couple of weeks back, I'm talking to his dad, and I see him sitting around. And I said, what are you doing, Jack? Well, you're talking to my dad. I said, let me ask you something. You told me you want to play in the NHL. Did you see, and the other gentleman's Jack as well, did you see Jack wait for me? I said, you want to be in the NHL. What did he do? He went over and did his thing. You know what the warm-up is. And that was a little bit of a mental test. So these are the things that, are you willing to do the stuff? Everybody can say they want to be champion or be a professional, but the I amism. What are you? What are you telling yourself? And what are you displaying? And only you can answer that question, right? At some point, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I getting better or am I hiding? That's it.
Yes. 100%, 100%. And for me, what popped in my head when you're telling that story is the lone wolf mentality.
Yes, sir.
You want to be great. There's not a bunch of people standing on that mountain. I'm sorry.
That's right.
When you going back to that goat example, when you see that goat standing literally on the side of that mountain with that much room to work with, that goat's there for a reason, alone. You might see one or two,
That's
it's
right.
the same concept. Like you said, that's the first mental test.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say goatism, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. That's the first mental test for that young man,
Yes,
and I'm sure he learned from it,
Yeah, absolutely.
and he learned from it, and he's going to take that incident along his career as he journeys towards the big league.
Yeah, never be told to do something. You should be thinking, what can I do to get better, and what can I do to move myself and my teammates forward? And that also goes back. You talked about awareness, but the game. There's always in every sporting. I've worked with just like you, but NHL, Olympic lifters, Olympic athletes, NFL, boxing. And it's always the contest that every moment, there's a moment that the game can hinge on that moment. And it could be a person sitting on the bench that picks up that a pitcher's dropping his elbow. Something's going on. Or I notice in the corner that the guy's breathing's going. That means we go to his body, he's tired. There is always moments, and you never know when the moment's going to be thrust on you. But if you've done your preparatory work, you've done your thing, you can contribute to the greater good at any moment. It doesn't have to be the shining moment. Maybe you don't hit the home run, but you may go up to the guy and say, he's been leading everybody off with a slider, every left-hander a slider every time up. Boom. Now, you didn't hit the home run, but you enabled your teammate to hit the home run.
Exactly.
So, this is the stuff.
No doubt. This is the stuff that young athletes don't hear about, unfortunately, and this is stuff that's building your character, building your the the esoteric aspects of athleticism.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A lot of guys hear about this. I don't want to say too late, but a lot of guys hear about this a lot of guys hear about it too late. You can say they hear about it too late, and next thing you know, going back to baseball, you're that guy at spring training. You're so jacked up, you're so nervous, you don't know where to go in the field, you didn't check the schedule, you're on field 5, we're supposed to be on field 1, and at the end of the day, they're meeting. Well, I don't know, so-and-so, going back to the example I gave earlier, this guy doesn't know he has no clue what's going on. Done.
Exactly.
You're gone.
Exactly right.
Just like that.
Yep.
So yeah, man, that's tremendous information. And I don't have to ask you any more questions. Because, when G was talking, the young hockey player, and this is going to be great information for him, I want to answer a question his mom has down here. It's recorded, Shelly, so it'll be on my IG Live, and I'm also going to put it in the YouTube channel. So it definitely will be recorded. We can get it over to G. So Shelly is G's mom, and she wanted to get to him what you were just talking about, the young hockey player. She wants to let him hear that. But yeah, man, you covered everything, and I'm glad when Zoe started talking about he opened the door for us to solve this thing, solve it, and the best that we can, right?
That's right.
But now these young athletes have an idea, a firm place to start as far as developing their makeup.
That's right.
They know it's their thoughts. Something specific is that I am, which boils back to your thoughts,
That's right.
So what can you give us examples? I know on my older guys, I have them read The Science of Getting Rich, the guys that gravitate towards that mental aspect. Can you name some of the books that you recommend?
Yeah, right now I'm reading Atomic Habits, James Clear, and he has a newsletter comes out weekly that's fabulous, just absolutely fabulous. That's one of the books I gave to the NHL guy. Another old school book I love, it was written, it's funny, it's like fundamental knowledge never changes, right? The truth is the truth. And this book is called The Master Key to Riches by Napoleon Hill. And this book, don't get thrown off by the riches. It's talking about the riches inside. It's nothing to do with monetary. This is just, who are you inside and what are your thoughts? And those are two books I highly recommend. And there's another heavy read by this guy, Joe Dispenza, and it's, Becoming Supernatural. Incredible.
Yeah.
It's heavy science, but it's a fantastic read. Fantastic read. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read any of his books. I watch him all the time. I have him over here on the TV on YouTube all the time.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's the new what's the guy that's always talking about the Gary Brandon, is it? The guy that's always talking about quantum physics with the gray hair, big poofy hair? Gary something.
Terrible, yeah.
I can't. You know what I'm talking about, though.
I do. Yeah,
Joe is taking over in my opinion, he's taking over as that new go-to guy for. Yeah.
Lippincott? No,
it's pretty. It's a pretty simple name, like
yes,
Gary Brandon or something like Brett Brandon or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll probably think of it later, but like I said, man, you answered everything. Guys, young guys, athletes in general, man, it starts with the makeup is your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It's your thoughts, and we know how we can change our thoughts from negative to positive. The affirmation, the I am, that's Shelley, that's a perfect example right there. I am a great hockey player.
Yeah.
I am this. I am that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the subconscious mind thing, we speak directly to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind recognizes that.
That's right, because it becomes, you identify with it, so there'll be moments and we will all get challenged, but if you come out with, I am a champion, well, how would a champion behave at this moment? Yeah, I got knocked down. Yes, I got, and something happened, but I am a champion. If I'm a champion, how do I respond? I'm not going to walk away. What would a champion do at this moment? And you take on that armor, and that's what it is. So you have to, and it's like you do your prehab, this is stuff you have to do every day. It isn't like you're going to just pick it off the tree and use it. It's like this has to become who you are. And if you're a champion, these are the things that, again, other people aren't willing to do. You can be like the other people. But I've just been surrounded and very blessed to be around some great athletes. And you had mentioned it as well, it's no accident. There you are where they are. You have some that are gifted, absolutely positively, but I've seen a lot of guys with a lot less skills, but they have the I amism, and they will crawl over broken glass to get better the next day.
No question. Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it. All the coaches, this is recorded. Guys, we have to do this once a month. We have to grow this, I want to say community, because I talk to coaches in my local community, Coach Wesley, another guy. We're the guys that get into the mental aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to definitely do this once a month, include the online community, but just how can we help these kids with the stuff that they cannot see? You know what I mean?
I do, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk to you, all you guys, Freddie, everybody that came on. I know you're super busy, but hey, when you can pop up, that'd be great. And let's try to do this once a month. Come up with
I love it.
Topics and grow this program, and let's just help folks out.
I'm all with it.
Young guys. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. We'll definitely talk offline, man. And
all right, Coach.
Have a good evening.
All right. Peace. Thank you, man.
All right. No problem. So, Nikki, if you're still around, I don't see you. Are you still out here? Let me see. Nikki. There you, okay, I see you now. I'm going to try to bring you out. Let me try it one more time. K-Mo, man, I appreciate you staying around. I really appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. I guess Nikki left us, guys, so it's time to shut it down. Freddie, you want to say anything? 'Cause I know you've been here for the duration. We do this all the time. Freddie, I'm going to bring you out real quick just one more time. Close it out. We'll call it a night. K-Mo, it looks like you're still here. If you don't mind saying something to close, I'd appreciate that as well. But if you're cool with that, K-Mo, quick thumbs up. That'd be great. Freddie, if you're cool with closing things out, quick thumbs up. And then we'll go. We'll shut it down, call it a night. Amazing book. Yes, it is. Oh man, it's a quick read. That's why I give it to clients. the overly ambitious ride. Yeah, that's why I give it to clients a quick read. And I also like The Power of the Subconscious Mind by David Murphy. That's a good one as well. The mental game is something we need to address. Okay, I think Freddie might have left us, guys. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it's 4 of you guys left. So let's go ahead and shut this thing down. Eduardo, Shelly /G, K-Mo, Karen, I appreciate you guys. We're definitely going to continue this. I'm going to talk to everybody that participated this evening. Once a month, we do this with the online clients. And once a month, we will continue this. And nothing but applause and thanks for everybody that came through. Great night. Appreciate you guys' time. So closing it out, you guys have a great upcoming week. Clients, I will see you this week. God bless. Bye-bye. Appreciate you, Eduardo. Thanks a lot.